Season 2 Team Affinity 100% complete. It certainly did not take near as long as Season 1 did. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. I'm basically going to go through all of the steps in order for you to complete it as fast as possible, at least what I did. We're also going to talk about the players, the rewards, because going through this entire thing, I did play with every single player. So I'm going to kind of give you my personal opinion on which ones I like the most, which ones I do not like the most. And of course, all that is going to be personal opinion. You might not necessarily agree with it, but, you know, depending on your play style, depending on who you like, depending on, you know, I don't know, sometimes you have decent players that you do really good with and really good players that you do not so good with. But either way, I'm still going to give you my opinion and still going to tell you how I got all of this done so fast. So even if you're starting brand new, you haven't done a single thing in Season 2, or you're halfway there or part of the way there, maybe some of this will help, but I'm just going to basically tell you what happened from the start of Season 2, everything that I did initially from the beginning, and I basically did all of them, every single division at the exact same time, and I finished them all at the exact same time. So first thing I did was go down to the exchanges. I think that is the #1 thing that you should do in the very beginning. Complete all 4 of these exchanges. ALL East players 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now they did add 4 as opposed to in Season 1 where they only had 3 of them. So it does give you 60 points instead of the 30 points that Season 1 did. Now, if you do all 4 of those, that is going to give you 3 legends, a ton of packs, and your very first Team Affinity. Now, for me, depending on how many stubs you have, I was certainly super broke when Season 2 started, so I had to pretty much budget. How I did the marketplace, I pretty much went to 74 all the way up to 72. Now, as soon as Season 2 started, the prices of these bronzes and silvers absolutely skyrocketed. So I pretty much started with one single division, say the AL East, Orioles, very first team. We go through this. Now, what I did and what I found out is that paying for bronzes at this price, 85 stubs, was way too much. And these pretty much appear to be about the same prices as it was when Season 2 initially started. So what I did was pretty much for the entire thing, I only targeted 72s, unless for some reason I found a deal, but I only targeted 72s. And I put the price in about 35 stubs, and I would do about 10 to 15 of each one of them. So once I put in 10 to 15 for Mountcastle, Franco, and Cerveno, I would then go to the Red Sox, and then I would do the Red Sox and put in 35 stubs, 10, 15 of them for him, and then I would go to the next one. I would go to the next team, the Yankees. I would do the same exact thing. Now, all of these are a little bit more pricey. It looks like this one is 50. So I would kind of avoid that one. This one's still about 31, so I'd put that one in for 35. So basically all I did was target 72s the entire time for 35 stubs a piece for each team. Put 10 to 15 of them in there at one time, and then they basically, I got them really fast. It only took me about 10 to 20 minutes, somewhere around there, maybe 30 minutes, to do all 4 exchanges for an entire division. Now, once I did that for all 6 divisions, now I know that does not sound like fun. Trust me, I know it doesn't sound like fun, and every single one of my friends say the exact same thing. I am not spending that much time on the marketplace, but we're talking about how to get this done as fast as possible. So you do it for all 6 divisions. You get in all 4 exchanges. That gives you 60 total points for every single division. That gives you enough for, like I said, 3 legends and 1 affinity, 1 team affinity. Now, if you have enough stubs in order to do all 6 of the divisions, that's going to give you 24 player cards. If you don't have enough to do every single division, then at least try to get as many of the divisions you can, because the next step definitely is about saving time and getting the most points possible from this point forward. Now let's assume that you could get all 6 of them done, and like I said, that's 24 player cards. You want to balance out the positions. Pick some outfielders, some infielders, try to get one for every single position. Some pitching, some relievers, legends, and your team affinity. You're going to fill out an entire lineup versus all the players that you got. Now, obviously, you're not going to have all affinities in the beginning. You're going to have some of them flashbacks and legends. Some of them are going to be team affinities. And as you load up your roster, you're going to see that each one of those players, flashbacks and legends, and the team affinities are all going to have missions associated with that player. And so when you put them into your lineup, keep in mind what you have to do. So let's say we got 3 players from the AL East. We got Chris Davis, we got Craig Kimbrell, and we got Gary Sanchez for our 3 legends or flashbacks. We got a catcher. We got a Chris Davis, plays first base, and then Kimbrell is a reliever. And so you're going to have to get extra base hits, and you're going to have to get homers with Sanchez and then Kimbrell. If you complete the missions, then that gives you 4 extra points for that. Once you get one of these done, then you're going to take him out, and then you're going to put in another one of your legends or flashbacks. Now, where do you get these games played? Well, that is when you start the Conquest Affinities for the East, West, and Central. So whatever one you want to start with, it doesn't matter. They're 30 points apiece. You get one of these done, it's going to apply to both American League and National League East, just depending on which of the affinities that you want to work on. And so just pick one of them. Do one of them. Work on your missions for each of the players that you got. You got 24 total cards. They are 4 points for every mission. 30 total points for completing these affinities, the conquests, and the conquests do not take very long at all. Now that is just basically rinse and repeat. I mean, while you're completing those missions, you get 4 points apiece for that. Each division, you start off with 4 total players, 3 legends, flashbacks, 1 team affinity, 4 points each. That's 16 extra points. So that is 76 total points for the missions, the 4 players that you have, and then you get 30 points for the conquest. So all of those, just those 3 things, doing the missions, doing the exchanges, and doing the conquest, you're going to be sitting right around 110 points on your way to your next affinity. Now, as you go through this, you're also going to get another Legends and Flashbacks, 2 more Legends and Flashbacks actually, another affinity, which gives you more missions. Basically, what it comes down to is as you're completing the conquest, completing all of this stuff, getting these missions done and grinding out these points, you should be able to, hopefully, be able to do this collection, which gives you 10 extra points with the 5 extra legends and flashbacks that you get throughout the entire, map of each of the divisions. You should be able to get 20 of these if you haven't already been able to get some from Season 1 as well. They also have all the Season 1 stuff in there, so I had plenty, way more than 20. So doing everything in that order, exchanges first, getting the 4 players per division, and then loading them up into your roster, completing conquest, then completing your collections along the way, doing your missions, all of these missions that you got. Now obviously you'll be able to get along the way, you'll be able to get every single player in that division except for 1, and that's going to be the very last 150 point affinity. So assuming you get everything done, you get all of these missions done, you get the conquest done, the collections done, and the exchanges done, that will give you exactly 146 points. And the only thing you have to do after that is just to complete 2 of the moments for that division, and that gives you 150 exactly. Now, just to give you an idea of how fast I was able to get this done, doing all of the conquests, doing all of the missions, doing all of that stuff, out of all 6 divisions, I only completed this repeatable thing one single time, and that was it. The plate appearances. I only did it one single time, and I actually didn't even try to do it. That was just me loading in my rosters with the players that I needed, playing with those guys, and going through the conquest and doing all of that stuff. And so I only completed, out of all 6 divisions, only one of these out of all of them. So you don't even have to do the plate appearances. You don't even have to do the moments except for 2 of them. And you don't have to do March to October. You also don't have to do a single showdown. I didn't do a single showdown along the way, as opposed to Season 1, which I had to do a couple of them, and a couple times I had to complete a lot of the innings played for that division. So hopefully that gave you a basic rundown of what I did in order to complete it, and the order in which I went in order to complete it as fast as I did. Basically, no time was wasted whatsoever. I just stuck to this. I didn't even play it a whole lot for the holiday weekend. I mean, this was not that many hours. Didn't even complete the plate appearances in the divisions, and was still able to get all of this done. Didn't even have to do showdowns, didn't even have to do all of the moments, and still got them all done. All of them ended up at 97%, which was only 4 points away, 2 moments away in every single division, all at the exact same time. Alright, so now let's talk about the players. I'm just going to go through these kind of quick, and like I said, this is just personal preference. I would say all of this is basically based on my own play style, how I play the game, and how well I perform with the game, how much fun I had playing with this particular player. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It doesn't mean their stats are bad. It doesn't mean you can't perform good with them. It just means that I did not enjoy playing with them, and I will not be using them if they are rated bad, or if they're rated good in this case, or in other cases, then I certainly will be playing with them and have them in the roster. I rated the players in 4 different categories, I guess. We got S tier, which is the best of the best. Obviously, the players that certainly will be in my lineup, certainly will, that I will always use. A, pretty dang good players that I had a lot of fun with playing, that might be in my lineup. And then we got B tier, that was A tier, and then B tier, okay players, so-so type of players. Didn't have anything bad to say about them, really. Didn't really have anything good to say about them. And then we got finally C tier, which is like crap tier, players that I did not enjoy playing with whatsoever and will not touch ever again. And starting with that C tier, and like I said, this might not necessarily have too much rhyme or reason behind it. It's just that I did not enjoy playing with these guys whatsoever. I did not perform well with these guys. Could not either get base hits, or could not get strikeouts, or could not do something. But I did play with every single Team Affinity guy and play with them at least a few games. Some of these guys, like say Cal Ripken, I mean, I played 15 games, 35 plate appearances, only 10 hits. I hit 278 with this guy. Yeah, in Diamond Dynasty. I did not like Cal Ripken at all. By far the very worst Team Affinity card in this game. I will not ever touch this guy. Also in the C tier, which I thought was pretty disappointing based on the stats, Jordan Groshans. His stats look amazing, but for whatever reason, I just did not like him. I did not like playing with him, and even though his stats are amazing, unless for some reason I get him in like a Battle Royale game or something and I just go crazy with him, definitely another guy that I won't touch. And finally, the last of the C tier, I only had 3 cards in which I absolutely hated, and the last one is the Jordan Balazovic, pitcher for the Twins. Not that he necessarily has bad pitch selection, that his stats are all that crazy bad, but I just did not like him. Now we're going to go with the B tier. This is the tier in which I think is so-so. You know, didn't really have anything good to say about him. Didn't really have anything bad to say about him. Doubt I will ever use them again. Shane McClanahan, Lou Gehrig, and Jimmy Fox. The AL East is by far the worst division for Team Affinity. 2 players in here, crap tier. 3 players in here in the B tier, which I'll probably never touch any of these guys again. Jimmy Fox was probably my favorite out of all of them, but he couldn't even get out of C tier itself. Also in the B tier, which again was really disappointing, was Cliff Lee. I just do not like his delivery in this game. The way I pitch and when I use pinpoint, I just do not like Cliff Lee's delivery. So yeah, I didn't enjoy playing with him too much. I can't say that it was necessarily a bad thing. I mean, he's a good card. I do like his pitch selection, but his delivery is just something I cannot work with. Edward Cabrera, another one. He has outlier on his sinker, which appears to be kind of cool. You would think that would be kind of cool. His slider, curveball, changeup, all of that stuff. But I found him kind of tough to control. And I don't know, it just didn't really, you know, it was just so-so. I really didn't like him too much, really didn't dislike him too much. He was just all right. And then moving on to the Central for B tier, still Garrett Crochet, another one that throws some massive fire, but I just didn't like him. I didn't really like him all that much. I've heard a lot of people say they've liked him and that he's going to be a good card or his stats look really good, but I just didn't think he was all that great. Definitely think he was overhyped. Jim Thome, another one. Awesome power. Absolutely demolishes the ball. He just wouldn't demolish the ball for me. I don't know why. There's certainly a lot of other players in which I hit so much better than with Jim Thome. Plus the fact that he is slow as dirt. Speed, definitely. I do need some speed. He's not a very good fielder. Not that you necessarily need that at first base, but he just was not somebody that I really liked all that much. And then we got Johnny Damon, which I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to put him in A or B. I kind of liked him, but also there's just so many better outfielders. So I decided to put him in just regular B tier. But he's all that not bad. He was like borderline A for me. I did kind of enjoy playing with him. But, and he does hit quite a few home runs for only 59, 58 speed. Or 59, 58 power, but still, you know, just decided to go with B. Moving on to the NL Central, which is by far the second. I mean, there are 2 divisions that are hands and feet and miles above every other division. NL Central is one of them. This is, I think, the worst card in there, Bryce Terang. And it's the only one in B tier. All the other cards, all the other 4 are either in A or S. But still, he's okay. He's okay, kind of glitchy with his fielding, which is nice. His speed, which is nice. His stealing, which is nice. But he just hit it a little soft to me. Definitely was not hitting it, I guess, as well as I hoped he would. Still okay. AL West is the other division, which again is by far way above all the other divisions. This one in NL Central. But Sam Huff, only one in B tier. All the other 4 are in either A or S. It was an okay card. I mean, you look at his stats, his power looks amazing, but honestly there are 2 other people that play catcher in this game, both of which I liked a lot more than Sam Huff, so he was just alright. And then finally, to round out that B tier, we got, which is just, you know, the so-so tier that's like neither good, neither bad. We got Willie Mays in there. We got my dude Tony Gwynn, which I liked so many of his cards in the past, but have not really liked this one all that much. And then we also, unfortunately, very, very sad. And Brandon Webb, honestly, should have ended up in crap tier for me because I just don't like his pitches. And I'm an Arizona Diamondbacks fan. That's my team. I love the Diamondbacks, so it's very depressing. And so I had to put him in B tier, just because I might use him because he's a Diamondback. And so, but I really, his card is just meh. Moving on to A tier, and there was no A tier in AL East, and like I said, by far the worst division. But very first person in A tier, we got Hank Aaron. Really enjoyed playing with this card. Definitely faster than I remember his cards being. Good fielder, good power, good contact, and all of that stuff. I wouldn't put him at center field, and I don't put him at center field, but when I do play with him, usually in left. But he can also play third, which is nice. I mean, it's cool to have a nice third baseman out there. And then another one, which was actually really surprising, was Jackson Rutledge. I really enjoyed playing with this guy. Really good control. I just never had a problem. I use pinpoint, and I really like his, the bar and the meter. He's an enormous dude on the mound. His pitches are pretty standard, but I don't know. I just really enjoyed playing with him. And then we got the only player in the AL Central left, which is Isaac Paredes. Only a 92 overall, but I really like playing with this guy. Not normally, as far as speed goes, not normally somebody that I, would use. His fielding was all right. I really like how he's third and second and short, so it gave me a little bit of versatility with that second base, because second base is a little bit difficult to find good players at. But I don't know. I just did really, really good with him and really enjoyed playing with his card. NL Central, we got 3 players in the A tier, which I really liked. First up, Johnny Bench. He's slow, 35 speed. But as far as catcher goes, absolutely amazing. Can play first, can play third. He seems to get good contact, at least for me, no matter where the ball is being thrown. I mean, it could be like a foot outside the strike zone, and this man can get good wood on ball. Amazing. I've hit home runs with him when it was like 6 inches below the strike zone, outside, inside. He can even leg out doubles and triples, get him in the gap. I really like this. I really like playing with that card. One of my favorite pitchers, again, somebody I've never even heard of, to be honest, Quinn Priester. I like this card. I like his pitch selection. Fastball, curveball, changeup, sinker, and slider. That's almost everything you need. Of course, a cutter is also nice, just depending on what you prefer. But the pitch selection is great. I really like him and really enjoyed playing with his card. And then the last one, Joe Torre. Depending on, I guess, almost the same exact thing as Johnny Bench. Can play other positions, can play catcher. Who do you prefer? I probably prefer, at least as far as, I don't honestly know. I really like both of them. Sometimes I have both of them on the field at the same time. But Joe Torre is another one. Can pretty much hit the ball anywhere. It doesn't matter where it's at. And so, yeah, good card. And then we got the AL West, Edgar Martinez, hitting machine. This guy, even with only 70 power left, he can still hit it. Can't field for crap, can't run for crap, but this guy can hit doubles. He can even hit triples, hits home runs constantly. Amazing hitter, love the card. Definitely a pickup. And then to round out the A tier, we got Dante Bichette. Amazing, dude. This guy, very close. Borderline S tier for me. Love the card. Hitting's amazing. He's pretty decent on speed. Can't field for crap, though, in the outfield. But that's probably one of the only things. His fielding is just so bad. Anyways, and the other one, Josiah Gray. Another surprising one, at least for me. A lot of these future stars I really did like, and some of the award winners I didn't like as much. But I like his card. I mean, I enjoyed playing with him. I like his pitch. I like, you know, his wind-up. I like using it with pinpoint. The meter feels good when it goes around. Pitch selection, pretty standard. Slider, changeup, curve, and a four-seam. Pretty easy to control, and just enjoyed playing this card. Now this S tier is in no particular order because it's really hard to determine what I like the most, but we're going to start over in the AL West because the AL West has 3 of the 5 S tier cards in the game, at least for me. First one, Roy Oswalt, and this card is absolutely fire. The four-seam sinker, the curve, slider, changeup, pitch selection is amazing. He feels absolutely amazing to use. Definitely a must cop. Definitely got to get this card. I absolutely love it. Fantastic. Torrey Hunter, next one. Amazing hitter, got some speed, fielding, of course, 1,000 gold gloves. They better put him at 90, 100 fielding. Not much of an arm, but still the fielding, absolutely amazing. Can hit it, crushes the ball, absolutely crushes it for me. Love that card. And then the other one, which was a bit of a surprise for me, was Robert, which I did not know. Obviously, that's how you say his name. He's a feature star, so I don't see him very often. But Robert Poisson. And amazing card. You wouldn't think by looking at his stats, at least on the power wise, that he's all that great. And when you compare it to a couple of the other guys that maybe play shortstop, you might say, well, why is he here? Well, I like that he plays second. Second is definitely a bonus for me. His speed is ridiculous. 94 and then 85 steal. Fielding, outstanding, but his hitting and being a switch hitter, absolutely amazing. Love this card. And then the next one I really liked was the Mark Pryor Prime card. Yeah, four-seam, slurve, curve, and a changeup. I love it. It's nice to see him get a good card. And I don't know, when you look at the stats, the Ks per 9, absolutely outstanding, but the hits per 9, little low. The walks per 9, little low. Velocity, little low. But I don't know, I just absolutely love the card. Control is absolutely amazing. His break, fantastic. Very difficult, at least for me, to pick up pitches when I'm watching him because I use the same angle or same view as hitting and pitching. And so yeah, I absolutely love this card and definitely think it's worth it. And then the final card of the S tier, Ronnie Mauricio. And this is the guy I was kind of comparing Robert Poisson to. The only difference really between the two is that Robert is a lot faster. And, I mean, miles faster. Can steal bases. I mean, he can almost leg out inside the park home runs on balls in the gap like in Detroit or something. But this guy, Ronnie Mauricio, certainly has a lot more power than the other guy. And so it just depends on who you like to play with. Both of them I absolutely love. Ronnie Mauricio does not play second, though. And second is usually where I put Robert. I usually put Robert at second in his secondary position just because he's probably my favorite person at second base that I can put there. And so that leaves him with shortstop or third base, just depending on where you want to put it. But anyways, that is going to do it for the video. Hopefully it helped you out. I'm sure it was probably super long, and by the time I get done editing, I wish I would have made it a little bit shorter. But hopefully it helped you. Hopefully it let you know how we were able to get through the Affinity so quick and what I thought about each of the Affinity players. Of course, again, all that is subject to your own personal preference, depending on how your play style is, depending on the types of guys you like, depending on even what type of pitching meter you use. It can all depend. Even your views can change. You know, your batting view could change how well you perform with particular players. You know what I'm saying? So either way, though, I thought it'd be fun to do this and just to give you my own personal opinion. But I mean, I'm kind of sad that it's over. It was super quick. Got through it super fast. Didn't really have to grind out anything. All I had to do was just complete it. And once I got done completing it, it was over. I didn't have to do anything extra. I didn't have to do any extra innings. I didn't even really have to do moments. Like I said, only 2 apiece for every single division, and it worked out exactly the same for every single one. Got them all done at the same time. Either way though, guys, yeah, hopefully you did enjoy, and hopefully I'll see y'all again soon. Let me know in the comments, you know, who your favorite players are, and if any of your opinions are different than mine. But either way, I'll see y'all the next time. Y'all take it easy. I am out. Peace.